So I found the photo.
All
So
right.
my second training session ever was May 1st, 2013.
Oh, so so you were there before I was.
Yeah. So that was my second training session. So yeah, it would have been April 2013. Oh, that's a long time ago.
Yeah. God, that's 7 years. Oh dear, that's over 7 years.
Yeah, I should be better. But yeah. You have any more questions, Ben?
I was going to
Playful at
ask
the
you about your trip to LA and how that came about.
Yeah.
It was LA, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was, yeah. Yeah. So yes, because I went to the New Japan dojo.
Yes.
Which to anyone post COVID, once everything calms down, I highly recommend. Like, honestly, do. It's like I'd been aware of New Japan. I'd made the crossover. I'd kind of turned my back on WWE. Didn't like them anymore, and I was now a New Japan fan. I'd spent a weekend staying away for a job. I'd had a hotel and just on a whim no, I'll subscribe to New Japan World, and it was around the time that the G1 was on, so it was G127.
Oh, that's a good tournament.
Yeah, I know. And from there, I was hooked because I recognized Ishii. Some of the matches that he'd had at RevPro was just out of this world. I obviously recognized Zack, recognized Ibushi from the Cruiserweight Classic.
Mm-hmm.
It was a travesty because Zack and Ibushi didn't win.
Yeah. Never forgive them.
Yeah, never, ever forgive them. But then I was like, right, I'm convinced. I'm a fan of New Japan now, but I couldn't put my finger on why. And who was it? And we'd had a show somewhere for Simmons, and he'd said, and we had one of the wrestlers there who had actually been there. He'd been to the dojo in LA.
Oh, this would have been the Strong Style UK.
Yeah,
we went and did those two shows, and it was oh god, I know who you're thinking of. I can't remember his name either. He was on the show, and he helped us with set up the ring and all that.
Yeah,
Danny.
But Danny, Danny Duggan.
Yes.
And he'd spoken to me about it, and I'd asked him about it, and he said it's probably the best thing that I've ever done. It's a lot of press ups, it's a lot of squats, it's a lot of sit ups, but it's a completely different style. So like you have to experience it because they treat it so seriously, and so I said, right, I'm gonna go out there and do this. I was single. I had no dependents. I've got a bit of money saved up. But if I'm going to do this, I need to do it now. So I applied, got accepted, and then went out in October at the same time as Dan McGee. We both went there. We did it at the same time, and it was the toughest three days of wrestling training that I'd ever had, but it was also the most enjoyable 3 days of wrestling training I'd ever had.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just.
What was the toughest part of it?
So I think it was the. Actually, I think the toughest in terms of the exercises and the warm-ups might have been the second day when they did a sweat deck. They split a deck of cards into black and red, and the black side was lion press ups, and the red side was jumping squats. And so we had like 23 guys all positioned around the ring, doing all of these press ups and squats, and it was torture. But in situations like that, I get quite competitive, and I'm like, there's no way I'm not going to see this through.
Yeah, you're determined to finish.
Yeah, and funnily enough, we were all positioned around the outside, facing towards the ring, but the young lions, so Clark and Carl and Alex, they were all on the inside, facing out.
Yeah,
and that and that was also where I met Taller for the first time. Hikaleo, he was there. He was doing his excursion in LA, so I met him there. And when we set up to do this sweat deck, I positioned myself so I was facing Clark Connors. I was directly opposite him.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this cleanly, but I'm going to keep up. And I was like, I'm going to keep up with Clark, and I just saw it all the way through. Whereas people on my right and left were jumping out to take a break or go throw up. Like, no, I'm going to finish it. I'm going to finish. I'm going to keep going. We got to the end of the deck, and there was just a puddle of sweat all around me, and it was horrible. But I was like, yep, I did it. I finished it. Next day, I couldn't walk. It was
Yes.
It was the worst. But it was so rewarding because it's just a different style, and they take it so seriously. They train like they are legitimate combat athletes.
Yeah,
They treat it like their job.
Exactly, which for most of them it is. And
Yes.
Yeah, but you've seen them at like the Strong Style Evolve shows. Sorry, not Strong Style Evolve. The Global War shows.
Yes.
And you've seen them warming up, and then you got Suzuki and Desperado that are slapping the shit out of each other.
They have a sparring session for half an hour.
Yeah, and like was transfixed by it. I was like,
Oh yeah.
God, that's how seriously they take it. And coming back, tried to apply that to what I was doing back here, and it lasted for about 4 or 5 months, and then kind of just got out of practice with it. But yeah, I couldn't recommend it enough. It was such a rewarding experience.
We had Shibata down before Royal Quest, and he gave a training seminar, and that was 4 hours, I think, and it was like a warm up of what they would do at the LA dojo. And I agree with you, like that was the hardest thing, and that was the warm up.
Yeah,
you sort of, when you're with there of 20 other people, that does sort of push you to do more than you normally would. Like I did 200 and something squats because we had to do 10 for everyone that was there, plus the young lions.
Yeah, and because we did exactly that on the third day in LA, but we did jumping squats rather than regular squats.
Oh.
So yeah, everyone counts 10 of their own.
Yep, and when we were doing it at the Portsmouth school, they were like the LA young lions were like walking around us, making sure we were doing them correctly because they weren't doing the squats because they just got off a flight, and where they're like, "Please don't look at me, please don't look at me." And then when you're doing the neck bridges, Shibata leaned over to me and he's like, "Keep it up." And you're there like, ah.
Oh yeah, it was torture. But what they did at the Portsmouth school that day was almost a carbon copy of what we did over in LA. They almost gave you our exact first day.
Yeah, and that was like, you do feel completely different after a training session like that, because we did no actual wrestling. It was that we did the bumps and the rolls, and it was sort of like I couldn't do the bump roll on the left side.
Oh yeah,
Better made me get up and do it 10 times until I could do it almost competently, and he was like, "One more time and then you're done." I threw up.
Oh, it's such a hard bump. But quite a lot of guys did when we were over there. Quite a lot of them did throw up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so sometimes you have to look at them and go, right, is that down to you not being fit or not being prepared for this?
Yeah.
Some of them that we're looking at, you're thinking, God, yeah, if the reason that you're throwing up is because you're not fit. But other people who are throwing up, and I apologize for throwing him under the bus here, but Dan McGee threw up.
Yep.
And it wasn't because he wasn't fit enough. I think it was just because just was not prepared for just how tough that was. And it
something you've never done, your body's never experienced before. It's gonna have that reaction.
It was savage, and like I don't know if we did the if they did the sit up thing where you almost kind of balance with your legs up and your torso up, but you're just kind of balancing on
your bum.
Yeah, and you're in that kind of crunch position.
Mm-hmm.
We had to do, I think it was like 40 sit-ups, and then hold that for a minute.
Yes.
And they were saying that that we would rather have you screaming to get through it, like just all the exertion you can manage. It's like just we'd rather you do that than get to the end of your endurance and just drop.
Yes,
because they want to see that you're fighting through it, and you're screaming, going, "Oh no, I'm gonna hold on to this! No!" And Shibata's walking around with his kendo stick, waving it underneath your legs, saying, "Keep it up!" And I'm like, "Oh god, this is torture. This is hell. Why would anyone?" Oh god, but yeah, I'd go there tomorrow if money was no object. But,
It's they also, if you attempt to do it, they respect that far more than if you just said no, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Like they'd rather you do it and fail than not do it because you think you will fail.
Yes.
That's also how it is with their drinking stories as well, I've heard.
Luckily, I didn't get to experience that.
Who was I listening to? Oh, I think was it the Hikaleo podcast? I think it was he was talking about Yano when he went out drinking with him, and Yano found him and he was like, "You are going to drink." And Farley said, "Every drink he offers you, you have to at least do it rather than say you will fail." So Hikalea had to drink all of it, at least try every drink.
Oh god, and Yano looks like he can drink as well.
Oh yeah, he's one of those guys as well. I remember at the Strong Style UK show, every day he would be in the ring and he'd do like 300 sit-ups.
Yeah, just without stopping, didn't seem to stop.
Yeah,
it was like if you'd see him, he'd start doing sit-ups. Like, okay, yeah, here we go. If you turn around, have a bit of a conversation, turn back, we're going.
Yeah.
And he just hasn't stopped.
And Okada just wanders around with his coffee, just like, cool, they're all warming up. I'm gonna have the best match ever, and I won't stretch. I have some funny stories about those shows as well, so I'll save those for another time.
Oh yeah, please do.
I'll just give a teaser because that venue only had one bathroom, so the wrestlers and the fans had to share a bathroom.
Oh no, really?
Oh yeah, because I'll tell the story when we get to that.
That's Walthamstow, isn't it?
The second, I think it was the same for both days because there were ice rinks. So you had the whole, imagine like an ice rink, but the bathroom, you only had one. Because, and the wrestlers' changing rooms was just next to the bathroom. So it was curtained off. And if they wanted the bathroom, they'd have to go and use a stall or whatever. And that's how I bumped into Yano.
Because he's using the same toilet as all the fans.
Yeah.
I remember that some of them not being happy because it was cold in there.
Yeah, because it was an ice rink.
Yeah, they just put wood on top of the ice. So yeah, so it was all freezing.
Oh yeah, that was my first experience being. I think it was my second experience being a young boy as well. So I got to be ringside for the whole Walthamstow show. Yeah, in the Milton Keynes one, I bought a 6-pack of Iron Brew, kept it on the wood, and it was almost frozen.
I remember that. Remember that day. That was also the debut in the UK of the Great Khan.
Ah, yeah. Those were two great shows.
They really were. That wasn't the second night the Ishii and Suzuki main event.
Yeah, with the Zack Sabre Jr. and Okada singles match as well.
Yeah,
so Milton Keynes on the Friday, and then Walthamstow. Sorry, Manchester. Oh God, yeah, we had to drive all the way to Manchester Friday night after the show. So we went to the hotel.
I'm getting Strong Style and Global Wars mixed up.
Oh, Global Wars also was fantastic. That was my first experience helping out at RevPro show. Was that Global Wars with Ishii and Keith Lee.
Yeah, you've helped out on quite a lot of them now, haven't you? So you know what's involved. You know what.
Yeah, there's so much work that goes behind the scenes that it sort of does. When I hear people's comments on why wrestling shows aren't good and that, and it's like you don't know half of the stories of what has happened in this room before you got here.
Yeah, completely. You see all the good stuff once the show is on.
Yeah.
You haven't been there when a piece is missing off the ring and we have to go and get another board cut, or you haven't been there when so and so's flight gets in late, or
when Ishii and Keith Lee break a board, so we have the metal bar, so we have to all hop in a van and literally jump on a van to bend the metal bar back into place.
How did they bend the bar? What did they do? What?
A suplex.
They'd actually bent one of the metal bars going across the ring. So I can't. Yeah, so we had to get one of the other boards, lay it on top of one of the posts, and then drive the van over the top of it to try and straighten the board out.
And then we all had to go in the van to give it more weight to bend it back into shape.
Yeah, it's like this is the stuff that you don't see.
Yeah, you come in and you see a great show or a show, and then you complain about all these things. It's like so many people have done so many things to get the show going.
Yeah.
And every show is kind of a miracle in a way.
And you get the moany internet smart fans like complaining about everything. Just
oh yeah, because they think they know it, but they have no idea. Like, oh, we turn up at a show and we're supposed to have tables and ladders delivered, but the ladders are the wrong ladders and the tables aren't the tables we need. And
but then all you see on the internet is someone going, oh, they didn't have any more shirts in my size. Like, grow up. But you say the fans don't appreciate what goes into running the shows, but you can make the argument that a lot of the trainees don't really understand what goes into running a show like that either.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll go.
Yeah, because you say that especially some of the younger guys at least at RevPro training school, they haven't really experienced the whole paying your dues thing yet.
They're shocked you have to set up the ring, like.
A lot, and a lot of them don't really know how to put it together. It's like a lot of the time I don't know how to put it together, but at least I'm there, and I'm doing it.
I remember the first time I was like excited to build a ring because I was like, I get to see how this is actually put together.
Yeah.
But like some of the trainees now, they don't want to turn up to an hour after they should because they want to skip that.
Yeah, and it's a lot. And then trying to get some of them to actually come to the shows and help out at all is a tall ask.
Yeah, I feel like maybe we should get the minibus thing back.
Yeah, it is, but then it's the cost of it. I mean, and it does. If you haven't got the commitment of the people wanting to go there, running a minibus for 2 people, it's just not cost effective. It's not cost effective.
Yeah, and I think because some of the trainees have to go and pick up wrestlers as well, it's better for them to drive down themselves.
Yeah, but this, and I'm going off on a slight tangent. But one of the things that a lot of the younger guys don't appreciate is that when it comes to getting to some of these shows, the important thing is to get the crew members there and to get the wrestlers there.
Yes.
You guys coming to help out, you're almost kind of the last ones that we need to worry about. And it sounds a little bit cruel, but then my response to that would be, but if you guys could drive and you could drive yourself there, then it's not an issue. But a lot of the ones who from the Portsmouth school who do want to come and help, none of them can drive. So they're constantly messaging around all the drivers. I mean, I get a couple of them at least every show saying, "Oh, can I jump in with you to the show?" And we're like, "Sorry, my car's full. My car's full of wrestlers."
Yeah.
And even if I do promise you a seat in that car, if Andy or Zoe turns around to me and say, "Oh, can you go and pick up so and so?" Then
the first person out is going to be
the first person out is going to be the non-wrestling person.
Mm-hmm.
So if there are any aspiring wrestlers out there who are listening to this podcast, then please, one of the most useful things you can do for your career is actually learn how to drive.
Yeah,
because you make yourself instantly more valuable to promoters. It's like if you got on one side you've got a wrestler who you want on your show, but he doesn't drive, and someone needs to go and pick him up. But then on the other side, you've got a wrestler you want to use. He can drive, and also on his route to the show, he passes wrestlers A, B, and C, and he can pick them up en route. Who are you going to go with?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you're going to go with the second guy. So what for a lot of them while they're young, when you're 17, do it. Get your driver's license. Be you and make yourself more useful.
It's like any job. Like you need to bring the skills that will make you an asset to that company.
Yeah.
Like even if it's something simple like video editing, like the amount of promotions that want video editors or people who know how to edit audio, like those are the things that will help you get noticed. And driving's one of those as well.
Yeah, that's why old Harold Frilligan is probably one of the most useful people at Andy Show, because he can do the live edit.
Yeah, and I don't think he was like taught that. He was just one of those things that he learned it himself, and he studied people at these shows, and he made himself a valuable asset.
Yeah, and it's now at the point where if he's not there, you notice, and that is almost more valuable. It's like, right, if you're not there, will they notice?
Yeah,
and it's, in some people, like in Harry's case, yes, you will notice because he's useful.
Yeah, and like I made it a point to learn all the merchandise stuff when I went. So now every York Hall show, I'm there with the merch, being like, "This is how it's set up."
And you're valuable. You're contributing to RevPro, the promotion, making money. So there is a place for you there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you also can drive. So. Ben, I don't mean to single you out on the driving thing, but
yeah, what have you done?
Is Ben even here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. That's not a dig. I mean, you live in London, like you can get it everywhere by train. So,
well, not at the moment, but yeah, I get your point.
Yeah, it's just
My other question that I've been writing down is, what was your biggest / scariest moment of your career so far?
Scariest, big mid-match with Doug Williams and my shoulder comes out.
Oh, okay, yeah, you got to tell that story.
Oh yeah, that was the end of possibly the worst day of my entire life. But
let's tell that story then. Sounds like a laugh.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I think I've left my washing on. So okay, all right. Bend my arm. I'll tell you the entire story. God damn it. I'd got myself to the point with RevPro where I was kind of the unofficial taxi man. So if someone was flown in, I would often be dispatched to go and pick them up, or drive them to a show, or drive them to their hotel, whatever. And been doing it for a while. So I get tasked with going to go and pick up Alberto Del Rio from the airport as he's flying in for our show, which is on the Saturday at the Mountbatten Centre.
As you do.
Yeah, like cool. Like you know that Del Rio got a little bit of a reputation, but you go, well, no, as long as you're early, they're in plenty of time, polite, like nothing to worry about. And I'm very polite. I mean, I don't say boo to flies, never mind. So this will be fine. Yeah, no problem. Get the flight information from Andy. Yeah, he's arriving at this time, so leave at this time. Get there early, no problem. Yeah, fine. Get to Gatwick Airport, which is the airport that I've always gone to.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the flight information, and it's not coming up on the arrivals board. Like, why is this not here? And they go, crap, this is the wrong airport. Is it Heathrow?
Oh my god!
But because I'd gone there early, that left me enough time to leave Gatwick and actually put the foot on the gas and get to Heathrow. So not a problem. I got on the motorway and shot up to Heathrow. Probably broke every traffic law on the way, but I got to Heathrow. And the problem was that I'd never been to Heathrow before. So as I'm driving along the M25, and I see the sign, the first sign for Heathrow Terminal, which was Heathrow Terminal 5. So get off the motorway and start driving in. And at this point, I get a phone call from an unrecognized number, and it's actually Del Rio on the other end of the phone.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, are you here to pick me up?" And I go, "Yep, no problem, sir. I'm just pulling into the car park now. I'll be with you in a couple of minutes." Get into Terminal 5, and I just happened to see there was a steward there, and like while I'm still in the car, I give him my phone and say, "Is that flight number coming in here?" And he goes, "Oh no, that's an international flight. That'll be Terminal 2." Okay, where is Terminal 2? Well, you need to go back on the motorway, go off the next exit. Okay, yep, sure. I'll be a little bit late, but I won't be too late. Get into Terminal 2, and Del Rio rings me again because Andy's given him my number, and he goes, "Oh, I'm in the terminal. Where are you?" I was like, Jesus Christ, he got his bags really fast. And I was like, "Oh, I went to the wrong terminal, but I'm just pulling into the right one now. I'll be with you very, very shortly." Get to Terminal 2, park up, go down into the terminal, and I'm thinking that a big 6'3" Mexican's going to stand out in a crowd. Can't see him anywhere. He told me that he was stood by a Costa, but I couldn't see a Costa coffee anywhere. So I go to the help desk and say, "Where is this flight landed yet?" And they go, "Oh yeah, but that's Terminal 3."
Oh.
Yeah, so I've now been like diverted to the. So they say, "Yeah, you need to go down the stairs and go all the way to Terminal 3." And I'm thinking, okay, it can't be that far apart. 2 and 3, they're next to each other. Running, and I must be running for what feels like 20 minutes. It just didn't seem to end. I stopped at a halfway point where there was another information desk, and I go, "Where's Terminal 3? Is it that way?" I go, "Yep, it's that way. That way. Keep going. Great, fine, perfect." Finally get there, and now I'm starting to get missed calls from Andy because I think Del Rio has phoned Andy and said, "Where's your guy?" Because he's not here. He's saying he's here, but he's not here.
Yeah.
He's phoning me, and I'm going, "Andy, look, I've just gone to the wrong terminal. I've never been here before. I'm going to the right one now. Like literally walking up the stairs as we speak." He said, "Right, Del Rio says he's by a Costa and he's waiting there for you." Like, okay, cool. Get into Terminal 3, looking around for a Costa. There isn't one. Can't see one. Like I can see a Pret a Manger, but he definitely said Costa.
Yeah.
Like what is going on here? So
This is giving me anxiety.
Mate, like giving you anxiety.
Yeah.
I was there in a nice like white button shirt, chinos, and and I'm now sweating buckets. Like I was in complete distress at this point. Get to another help desk.
Mm-hmm.
This flight number, which terminal has that gone to? Because I've been told that it came here. They said, "No, that flight went to Terminal 4.
My God.
Are you kidding me? I was like, "Are you actually kidding me?" And they go, "Yeah, in order to get to Terminal 4, you have to go back the way you've just come.
Oh my God.
Go down, get the underground, and get on a train to go to Terminal 4 because it's about 1.5 miles away." I was like, "Oh, this isn't happening." So I hightail it back the way I just come. Ask the guys at that halfway point. They go, "Yeah, the platform is down there. Like, hurry and you'll get the train." Run onto the platform, and the doors to the train close as I get there, and it goes. And I'm like, "Oh no, when's the next train?" It's going to be another 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
Oh God, so this isn't happening. And look, and I've got no signal, so Del Rio can't get hold of me.
Oh, amazing.
And Andy can't get hold of me either, so I have to go back up to the ground level. Phone Andy, go, "Andy, I'm having an absolute nightmare here. I've missed the train to go to Terminal 4 where Del Rio is." And he's like, "Mate, just get on there, get over to him, apologize, admit that you fucked up, and just make sure you get there." Train finally arrives. It takes me to Terminal 4, and at this point, he must have been waiting around for over an hour at this point. So I finally get up to the platform, or get up to Terminal 4. There's absolutely no sign of him. Can't see him. And then Andy rings, and I go, "Andy, I can't see him. I don't know where he is." He said, "Don't worry, mate. He's got a taxi."
Oh my.
Yeah. Got a taxi from Heathrow to Portsmouth. I was like, "Oh my God, what is going on? How has this happened?"
Yeah.
Hey, just don't worry about it. He's en route. Just get in your car. Come back to the training school. Just don't worry about it.
Bless him.
I would kick myself.
Mate, I was kicking myself, and because I could have solved all of that by just phoning Andy and going, which terminal has he gone to? But
oh yeah,
I was so in the mindset of, no, I'm going to fix this.
mm-hmm.
I just ended up making it worse. So I walk all the way back to my car. I'm not running anymore. I'm just walking. Get all the way back up to my car. Start feeling around in my pockets for my keys. Where are my keys?
Oh God.
Oh no! Yeah, exactly. Like this is going from bad to worse. No, it's already worse. This is becoming catastrophic. So start retracing my steps, and this little halfway point underground where I'd stopped a couple of times. One of them spots me on coming over, and he's holding up my keys. He's got them in his hand.
Oh, thank God!
Thank Christ for that. So fine. I get back in the car. Drive all the way back to Portsmouth, and I'm so dejected at this point. And I've got to wrestle Doug Williams later on. I drive back down to Portsmouth. I drive over to the training school, walk through the door, and everyone in there just falls about laughing, just absolutely wetting themselves at my misery. And I walk over to Andy, and he just got that look on his face. You know, that look that Andy sometimes get, where he's disappointed, but he's still smiling at you.
Yeah, you can't believe how ridiculous the situation
yeah,
is.
he's like smiling at you, trying to no sell it. This is fine.
Like that sort of, you've let yourself down, mate. Look.
Yeah, he hands me a taxi cab receipt. It's £220. £220. And he's like, mate, what happened? I was like, I got lost. And he said, well, obviously Del Rio is absolutely furious right now. He's absolutely fuming because he thinks that you were lying. And I wasn't lying. I was just lost. I'd never been to Heathrow before. I just got completely and utterly lost. I'd gone to 4 of the 5 terminals trying to find him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's like, he just thought, sod it, taxi. So he said, right, like we'd want you to pay this back, but we're not going to ask you to pay this back in one solid hit. So you'll work it back. So take this private session for us. That'll be £20 off of your debt. So, and we'll work it back over time. It's like, okay, fine, no worries. They finish their session. They all go to Mountbatten, start setting up for the show. I stay. I do this private session. So right, and then I'll go right. I'm going to meet them all at the venue. Okay, right. Let's get this day back on track. En route to the venue, someone slams their brakes on at a set of lights and I plow straight into the back of them.
Oh my God.
Yep. And it just so
I cannot, like, this day has already been like the worst, like worse than any day of my life ever by miles, and I can't believe this.
Yeah, and it's like, of course this happens now. So I have to give this person all of my details because obviously I hit them. So I just get to the venue finally, and I just walk in there, and I'm so dejected. I'm so miserable. I'm so upset. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna wrestle tonight. And I think Andy tries to just get me back on track. He just says, look, mate, it's happened. Don't worry about it. Look, and here's the issue. Obviously, you're going to have to share a locker room with Del Rio later. So you've got, there's a couple of options that you have. Right, he knows you as Louis, so we can refer to you as Kenneth all day, and hope that he doesn't realize it's you. or you can just go up to him like a man and admit that you effed up, and just go, look, mate, and just go, look, I messed up, apologize, I accept full responsibility for this, and just be prepared that he's probably going to turn around to you and tell you to F off. I was like, okay, I will go for option number 2, because if you go for option 1, there's always someone might accidentally drop you in it, and you'll be in even worse trouble.
Yeah, good point.
So people start arriving. Doug Williams shows up. We quickly go over a match, and it's all good. And then Del Rio arrives. he's walking around the locker room, he's shaking hands with everyone, and I just go up to him and say, "Look, hello, sir. Sorry about this morning. I completely messed up. I was totally, I don't know what happened. I've never done it. Never done anything like this. I'm so sorry." He was like, "Hey, don't worry about it." I'm like, okay, that went well.
Beautiful.
And I later found out, and I think because Gideon had picked him up from his hotel that afternoon, and I think Gideon had done some character rebuilding on my behalf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think so.
That doesn't sound like him at all.
No.
So I think Del Rio was of the mindset that he wasn't lost. He was lying. He was just late. He was he was just late. He wasn't there. He was just pulling me around all over the shop. And Gideon, I think, was able to say to him, "Was like, no, he wasn't lying. He was just lost.
Yeah,
He'd never been to Heathrow before. He just got lost. He wasn't like he just couldn't find you, and he had one of those days. He had a mare. So I think Gideon had rebuilt my credibility, like, which is already on the floor, just up a little bit. So
cool.
So he wasn't as angry as I thought he was going to be, and yeah, so that was fine.
So you had your match.
Had my match, yeah, and it was my third match with RevPro, coming off of a match that we'd had at the last Buckland, and Andy had pulled me aside and said to me, he's like, "Mate, you showed signs of genius in that match. Like, the character was on, like you were fully engaged, you were there, you were on. So keep doing what you're doing." And so my confidence was riding high. So I get in there with Doug, and I think just because of everything that had happened that day, I was just drawing blanks. Like I wasn't remembering anything. And it all just kind of got to a point where he picks me up for a slam and I slide down his back. And I don't know whether it's just how greasy he was, but my arm just slipped and it popped out socket.
Oof.
Which wasn't the worst thing, because it had happened before. And all that I needed to do was just kind of roll it back into joint, and it would go and it would stay in. Tried to do that, but it wasn't going. And the panic, I think I just pressed the panic button, and I didn't communicate to the ref, and I didn't communicate to Doug. And I was just like, "Ow, what do I do? What am I going to do now?" And so I wasn't there for the bits I needed to be on. I couldn't deliver any of my moves. So Doug, I took it upon himself. He bumped me around while I've got a dislocated shoulder. Oh, quick little fire and a comeback. Hit his big move. Stayed down 1, 2, 3, and that was it. And the shoulder was still kind of dangling out. And it was bad because my dad was in the audience, my mum was in the audience, my girlfriend she was in the audience, and my dad had spotted that something was wrong. Because he'd seen me dislocate it before, and the way I was kind of holding it, he's like, "Yeah, he's done something. He's hurt himself." And when your dad has to come down to ringside to roll you out and carry you backstage.
Oh.
Yeah, and that was what we did. And I was the heel, and I was almost having the sympathy vote at this point. And as we're walking backstage, pop, shoulder finally rolls itself back in. Like, of course, now but it wouldn't have mattered if it had happened while the match was still going on. It still happened. It was still out. And as soon as I got backstage, you know how it is in Mountbatten Centre, there's that little corridor before you go into the locker rooms. Yeah. I didn't go into the locker rooms. I just sat down against the brick wall. I was just like, "God, this is just the absolute worst. I can't believe that this has all happened today." And I eventually got in the locker room and sat down with Doug and spoke to him and said, "Yeah, my shoulder came out." And he said, "Well, stuff like that happens, but talk to us, let us know, tell us it's come out. And we can end the match," because to as far as I was concerned, while we were in there, because we didn't know, it just felt like you weren't there. So I had to hit stuff a little bit harder to get it through the match. And you've not lost much. You just look like you've just been beaten by someone bigger and stronger than you. So don't feel too bad about it. Just get yourself better and recover.
Yeah.
It was like I thought he was going to blister me and like tear me a new arsehole and
nah, he wouldn't do that.
Have a go at me, but he didn't. He was pretty cool about it. But then got home late at night, and my girlfriend turns around to me and says, "I don't really think you're cut out for this. I think yeah,
what a bitch.
Brutal.
Yeah, because like it was a repeating pattern. The shoulder had been coming out like more and more frequently. I don't think you really built for this.
Talk about kicking you when you're down.
Yeah.
And I think it was the next day. I think we had a session with, I think it was 2 Unlimited, or the week before or the week after.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were doing some of their high flying stuff, and they wanted us to do something where it was vault in, bounce off the rope, bounce to the other side, and then do a backflip. So
okay.
Yeah, some of the stuff that everyone can do. So I vaulted in, bounced off one set, went to the other set, didn't quite have it right. I was still holding onto the ropes with my bad arm, fell backwards, and the arm went with it. The arm was out again, and then it was at that point that I think, yeah. You know what, Rebecca, I kind of agree with you. I'm not right for this, and I gave up. Like,
shit, I didn't realize that.
Pretty much gave up at that point, and I thought, right, I can't do it. Like physically, my body just can't do it.
Yeah.
And it was bad because me and her got engaged not long afterwards, and I wasn't wrestling, and you might remember around that time I was hardly at the training school at all. I wasn't. For about 6 months or whatever, and most of them thought it was because of the Del Rio thing. They thought like that whole day is just fucked. Pardon my language, what they do, it's fucked him up so much that he's done.
I wouldn't blame you. Like,
he isn't coming back. We're not going to see Kenneth Halfpenny again. But then we broke up. Me and the girl. Oh no, sorry, we didn't break up. The urge to, I wasn't done. Like the urge to get back in there and carry on, it pulled me back in, and I started seeing video and was going to make sure that my shoulder was right this time. And like he said, do all of these things. Every workout you do, start with these 4 exercises, just get it back. And touch wood, since then it hasn't come out at all.
Nice.
So he's fixed it there, but she didn't want me going back. She really didn't, and I started going back anyway because Dan, Rob, and Curtis, I almost called him Mad Kurt then, but couldn't do it. Curtis, they started doing the contenders. They were the first round, and there was something kind of at the back of my mind, and it's very egotistical to think this, but I was training there at RevPro before Dan and Rob, and by the time that my shoulder first went out, I didn't think there was much that separated us in terms of our ability. I didn't think we were that far apart. But then they started doing the contenders, and I was kind of left on the sidelines, and it was almost a bit of a no. I can't go out like this. I can't let the match against Doug be the last thing that people remember of Ken Halfpenny. So, so I was back at it, and then she didn't like it. She hated it because then I was going back to your calls again, which, as you know, they're an all day thing. Yeah. You're there at the crack of dawn. You get home at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then you go to training on the Saturday, and then you carry on. And eventually we broke up, and it was almost like a weight had been lifted.
Yeah.
and which sounds horrible to say about a person, but it was like a weight had been lifted, and from there it was all speed ahead. Everything was wrestling now.
Yeah.
That was what I wanted to do, and it took a further 3 years for me to get my start in the contenders division.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a further 3 years, but we go back to what we said earlier about paying your dues.
There's paying your dues, and then there's this though, Kenny.
Yeah. Yeah,
the most incredible like story of grit and determination and working. And I think anybody will agree with me. Like anyone at the school would agree with me that you are the biggest example of this, of just pure grit, hard work, determination, and not giving in.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that a lot. It's because that's what I want. And
has this been like almost like I don't know if this like any member of your family like built that kind of attitude into you, or
no, I don't think so. I think they were all most of the family have been pretty supportive about me pursuing this.
Yeah.
And my dad's always had the attitude, like with me and my brother. He said, I don't care what you end up doing. I don't care what you spend your lives doing. I don't care what job you do. You could be a bin man for all I care. But as long as you can read, write, do basic arithmetic, I'm happy. I'm like, okay, like no, I've got there's nothing there. I'm satisfied as far as my mum's concerned, because I went to university, I got my degree, I have a job. If wrestling suddenly collapsed tomorrow, like I'm not gonna
starve.
Yeah. And so they're all very supportive. Like a couple of times there's been the how much longer do you think you're going to be doing this talk?
Yeah.
But my mum, God bless her, I love her, but she said recently to me, it's like, oh, you're not going to be wrestling much past your 35th birthday, are you? Like, oh, thanks.
It's okay. My mum has thought that probably of every birthday I've had since I started wrestling.
Oh, you're gonna grow out of it eventually.
Yeah.
As I said, you'll grow out of it eventually. But this once you're in it so far, like it's not something you grow out of. Like once you've spent 3 years paying your dues on all of Andy's shows, essentially giving up a lot of your weekends.
Yes.
Help make these shows run smoothly. It's like that's a lot of time of my own time that I've invested into this. And it's something I feel strongly about. It's something I want to do. It's like where all of these guys that are wrestling on the cockpit now, I want to be there. I want that. So, and how am I going to get there? It's proving to Andy that I'm serious about this. Like I'm going to stand here with a camera for 18 months, and those cameras aren't light, they're heavy. You stand there for nearly 3+ hours at your call or a cockpit. You're videoing the shows, and not only are you videoing the shows, but you're learning how to get the good shot, how to make his product look good. Mm-hmm. Saying what do you need from me? What can I do for you today? Like how can I be helpful? Like, and I've spent 3 years doing that, and then finally getting the contenders spot. But all of that stuff still carries on. It doesn't stop. Like I'm still one of the first ones there helping put the ring up. He's still one of the last ones there taking the ring down and helping pack up at the end of a busy York all day, where we've been there since the crack of dawn.
7 a.m.
Yeah.
Nearly 24 hours.
Leaving Portsmouth about 5:30, 6 in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's all. And there have been a couple of 24-hour days.
Easily.
Doing some of Andy's shows.
Well, the New Japan stuff, we did that, like the Strong Style Evolve thing and the Royal Quest. They were 3-day weekends where we were literally just doing it all the time. Oh yeah. Well,
what about the Royal Quest tour? Not ball ache. Ball ache's the wrong word, but just how hard
how much work.
Yeah, how much work was involved. Everyone on that crew had to work in some way, and even to the
We
point
slept for 4 hours.
Yeah, because we had the York Hall show on the Friday.
Yep.
And then we had then it was the Royal Quest on the Saturday.
Uh-huh.
And then a cockpit on the Sunday.
Yep.
And we're working flat out through all of them, setting up 3 different types of ring. I think anyone's quite appreciates that, because we had the 18-foot for York Hall, then we had the 20-foot for Royal Quest, and then we had the 16-foot for the cockpit. So 3 different types of rings.
That was, and the Royal Quest, literally from the time we got there, we didn't stop at all, because the merch, we were all in the merch, and that didn't stop all show.
All show, yeah.
All show, there was a queue for merch. It was that busy.
Yeah, it stopped during the main event.
Yes, kind of.
Yeah, and because it was weird, because I don't think I got to watch a single match on that show.
Yeah.
And but you couldn't.
No.
But then you have to realize that we weren't there to watch the show. We're there to work on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever role we were needed, like we had to do.
Yeah, I did the meet and greets. I was in charge of that.
Well,
which is hell.
Like I was one of the guys. I don't want to say I was supervising the putting up of the ring, but
oh no, you and Andy were, yeah, because no one knew how to put that up.
Yeah, because we'd taken delivery of it
that weekend.
Yeah, the week before, and we'd spent the Thursday night putting it up to see how it went together.
And it wouldn't fit on the vans that we had, so we had to get a new van for it.
Yeah.
And then, like say, in between the York Hall and the Royal Quest, we all had an Airbnb, and I slept on the floor by the front door. You remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Thrillig and Milligan, we were all chatting away, and Milligan was like, all right, I think we could go to sleep now. And he went out in an instant, and the rest of us were there, and he was snoring so loudly. I left, and I took a pillow to the front door of this apartment, and I just laid by the front door like a dog and just slept there.
Wow.
Because Milligan was just going.
Well, I could be wrong, but after that first night, we all said, "Oh yeah, we'll get to the hotel room, and we'll order some pizza in." Like everyone was so knackered after we got in, we just went, "Sod it, let's just go to bed."
Yeah. And then we had to get 4 hours, and then we're up for York Hall. Royal Quest. And
yeah,
that was
which is on the other side of the line.
Yeah, that was. Yeah,
but still a very rewarding weekend.
Oh yeah, like that. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd do it again if someone asked, "Would you do it again?" Like instantly.
Yeah, it definitely would. But that's what paying your dues is about. It's. I think towards the end of the Sunday, I think tempers were starting to flare a little bit, because everyone
wouldn't blame you.
Yeah, it was difficult. I think I lost my temper with someone at one stage.
I think everyone did with someone.
Yeah, and, yeah. I
know I
did. What was that?
I won't say who, but yes, I did with someone. But they weren't a member of our school. It was someone that came as a guest and didn't help.
Oh right, yeah.
They used to get a free ticket for Royal Quest.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people still try and get away with that. And I think it's something that Andy's trying to crack down on, because it's like, well, we've got our school, our guys from our school, they're coming here to put the ring up. They're here from the word go, and you can't turn up an hour before doors under the guise of helping, and then stand there and watch the show, because that's often what a lot of people would do. Even guys from our school would do that.
Oh yeah, there was one story I have. There's one of the York Halls. Someone turned up an hour before the York Hall and went, "Oh, I'll do hard cam," and they stood there and talked the whole time. So the audio was actually unusable, because the hard cam is what takes up the audio.
Yeah, I remember. God, yeah, Andy wasn't happy. He was not happy.
I wouldn't be. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think during the show, someone, I think it was Craig came to me and said, "Can you go up there and tell so and so to get off the camera?" Or go up there and tell him to shut up, because he keeps talking down the camera.
And I had to do the same in the second half. Was that the Cody? Was that the Cody one? I think.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
The
actually,
one with the Young Buck tour.
wasn't that the Royal Quest one?
Oh, was it? No, it's happened multiple times then.
Yeah,
But yeah, going to the York Halls, you get to learn who's taking this seriously and who's just having a bit of fun with wrestling.
yeah, and the people who are having a little bit of fun with wrestling, with the greatest respect, are not going to last that long at it.
And they often don't.
Yeah, excuse me, I just burped down the microphone. I do apologize.
That's right.
Yeah, it's God, yeah, it's not easy.
No.
It's not easy this life. But you hope at the end of it, the effort that you've put in will bear fruit. And for me, it's starting to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I've no doubt that it will fit for you guys as well.
I was going to ask you about that. The gold at the end of the rainbow. Your York Hall debut that you've been setting your sights on. How did that go?
It was beyond anything I'd thought of, because I just can't. I'm going to backtrack a little bit. In our little contenders group, there was four of us initially. So you had me, Sean, Brendan, and Gabe, and JJ came a little bit later. JJ was ringside with us, but I don't think he'd had his matches yet. And Sean, Gabe, and Brendan had all had a match at York Hall, and I was still patiently waiting for mine. And Andy had actually pulled me aside and had said, "Look, Louis, for this next York Hall, which I think was the Narita, was the one where Brendan went up against Narita.
Yes,
we're going with Brendan. We're going with Brendan for this one, but I don't want you to think that this is because you're not doing something or you're doing something wrong. It's nothing to do with that at all. You are going to get your chance. But we're just going with Brendan for this one." So back there thinking, okay, I'm not going to get frustrated and upset. I'm just going to wait patiently for my turn. And it was the Suzuki show, wasn't it? The show that Suzuki was on. It was the infamous Mad Kurt incident.
Yes.
Well, still one of my favorite things that's ever happened in a wrestling ring. But whoever was supposed to pick up Suzuki from the airport on the Friday, because he got in on a Friday night, whoever was supposed to go and pick him up had pulled out last minute. So Andy called me and said, "Mate, I know it's last minute, but I remember you saying you had a day off. Would you mind going and picking up Suzuki tonight?" And I said, "Yeah, no problem, not a problem at all." And he said, "As a thank you, I'm going to add you into the scramble at York Hall." And I was like, "Whoa, really? What? Really? What? What would you do? What's going on?" And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm actually going to get my match at your call." And I see who's in it. I'm like, Dan Maloney, Carlos Romo, Carl Fletcher, Robbie X, RKJ. I'm like, oh wow, I'm going to be in there with some, like the 5 of the best wrestlers in the country.
Yeah.
Oh god, damn.
I'm going to have to try keep up with them.
Yeah. It's like I've now got a shine. I've got a shine here. Like I can't be the extra man. I've got to be a part of this.
This is your moment.
Yeah, and I think most of that day I was just an absolute kind of nervous wreck, and so I think Kyle might have spotted it, and he said, "Mate, don't worry about it," because I think the doors had opened and we hadn't even planned the match yet. And I think he could see that I was already dressed, I was already ready, because we were last before the interval or first afterwards. But I was already dressed and ready, and he was like, "Just calm down." And so I was like, "Okay, I'm trying to calm down." And then eventually, like pulled everyone together, and they start putting the match together and start going, right, we do this here, we do that there. Kenneth, you're in here with your move here. And they didn't almost plan it word for word, but they said, right, this is going to be Dan and Robbie here, RKJ and Kyle here, and Kyle big Canadian off the second rope to the floor. We'll do that spot here, and everyone converges here. So right, this point here, Kenneth, what move here? Oh, okay, I'll do this. Okay, do my exploder. What move here? Okay, I'll do this, and we'll work on that. And then we're going into like our big shotguns at the end, and they're all throwing their moves in, and I was out of moves, and I had no moves left. And so they said, right, what? And I said it was my move to do to Kyle, and he said, right, what move can you do here? And I go, Olympic slam, and I go, too slow. Okay, flapjack. Just like kind of bends in at me with a little grin on his face, going, Canadian destroyer. Okay, I've never done one before. He said, don't worry, just keep your legs close together, grab around my waist, and I'll do the rest. Just give me a good jump, and I'll do it. And I was like, okay, I hope this goes well. so did it, and then it hit the Canadian. Audience goes blur.
Yeah.
Audience explodes because they think, oh my god, the contender has just done a Canadian
destroyer.
Yeah, which is now, it's taken on a life of its own. It's now the Canadian destroyer.
Yeah. The last one you pulled off at the what's the name of the Sunday show? What are they called?
Oh, the Epic Encounters 5.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
The up and over counter flip round. Oh, that was so good.
Yeah, again, mostly Brendan, to be honest. I was just there holding on. Yeah. Brendan was doing most of the work. But I'm all about that. Moves where the other person does most of the work.
Oh, yeah.
All about that. But yeah, it's always probably only fair to bring it all full circle to Brendan, in the sense that he's leading this division now. Like, the 5 matches I've had with Brendan over this lockdown period, despite wrestling the Young Lions in Manchester, despite the York Hall match, like despite getting in there with loads of experienced ones, like wrestling Brendan over five matches, being able to do that has just been really, really rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, and it seems like we've finally been able to find how Kenneth fits in to the other contenders, because you had JJ, who's a little bit of a flyer, Sean is a little bit of powerhouse, Brendan is the workhorse, and he's kind of leading the division. He can do a little bit of everything, but I didn't really have something that was me, but I think I've kind of found that now, and it's taken it's taken working with Brendan for over 5 matches to actually get it out of me. And despite what I say in promos and on Twitter, Brendan is leading this division. Like, he's quality. So.
I think that's a perfect place to end it. And you, Ben?
Yeah, wow. Honestly, it's been a freaking incredible podcast. So I'm already looking back on it. I'm like, this is made all our former podcasts look completely amateur. Incredible story you've told. And that's what we were really after when we started this podcast, was we wanted to hear guys from school stories, and that's it's one of the most incredible ones I've heard from any of the guys.
Yeah, and like even two guys like yourselves, like you've got your own stories, and stories that are continuing to develop. Like my continuing to develop. I'm just a couple of chapters ahead, but everyone working to the same thing, and it would just be nice once lockdowns, or all these lockdowns are over, once COVID's gone, just to get back on it, and just continue pushing through. Because Ben, you're in my contact bubble at training, aren't you? So like we've got stuff to work on, and the couple of times that you and I have been in, it's been good, and we're all even at Portsmouth School now, because the training before is different to how it was before lockdown.
Yeah,
it's going in the right direction. We can get everyone like working together. It's like everyone can make something of this. So,
yeah, I feel like everyone's a bit more motivated now. Like,
I was going to say, I much prefer the training style now. Perhaps maybe not that we're so, isolated because of bubbles, but the training style now is definitely an improvement over what it was before.
Yeah, you definitely feel like you're achieving something now.
Yeah.
Unless you have me taking everyone through some roles. I'm sorry.
Showing off.
I didn't mean to.
Yeah, it's cool.
just for the record, I don't think I actually broke your neck, did I?
No, it was my fault. I shouldn't have done the kip up. I did one too many, but it's fine now. Honestly, it was my shoulder, and that's all fine now. I just need to get into a gym and use a rowing machine.
Yeah.
As that happened, gym's closed, so I couldn't.
Do you find that the rowing machine helps?
Yeah, it's basically Kenneth was telling me it's my shoulder, the muscles connecting my shoulder to my neck. I pulled one of them doing a kip up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think when you got out of the ring and you said like, oh, I can't do anymore. Like I'm not a physio, but I'd done a little bit of it at uni. I just took a look at your posture. Said your shoulders are quite rounded, so they're kind of coming through at the front.
Mm.
Yeah, and I just place my hand on your back and just moved your shoulder back, and we just heard that click. It was like, oh, and instantly there you were like, oh, that feels a little bit better, but it's that imbalance. It was just a muscle imbalance.
Yeah, so I need to work on that, but I can't because, like I say, I can't build the muscle because there's no gyms.
Yeah, we're all in the same boat. Like,
yeah.
This well, it's very hard to stay motivated to work out during lockdown.
Oh, working out from home is not the same.
No.
Yeah, I think I've spoken to Ben about this, but I need that disconnect.
Yeah.
That disconnect from home, because home is where I relax, is where I eat, is where I watch TV. The gym
exactly.
Better work out.
Only like little trick I found that kind of helps, but I think it only have limited effect, is like go out for a walk before you start working out. So kind of like it almost like gives you refresh when you walk back into your house and you go straight into a workout, rather than you finish doing something like, I don't know, you finish doing your laundry or finish
an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, and you look across the room at like your weights or whatever you're using to work out. There's no motivation whatsoever to start. Whereas if you go out for even like a 5-minute walk and then come back and then go straight into it, it's a little bit easier. But I don't know if that's going to last. That's what I've been finding anyway.
Yeah, what have you been doing once you've actually been on your walk? Is it just body weight stuff, or have you?
I've got weights and two benches actually. Naturally, I just got the adjustable bench, and the adjustable bench has been a game changer because you can do so much more than you can with just a flat bench, which is what I had before. So now I can do like incline, decline, bench press, incline rows. Just you can use it as a preacher.
Nice.
Yeah, there's so much more you can do. So being able to have that variety also is a bit more motivating. But as you say, when you've got limited equipment, that's also like really demotivating. Like, I can do some more bodyweight squats. I can do an extra 100 today, and it's just like, it's a real motivation killer.
Yeah, and a big part of my mindset going in training, and this is probably something to go in depth to another time, but is that the people who succeed are the ones who do what they have to, even if they don't want to.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But even then, like I've been going running like 4 or 5 times a week, but now even that is becoming a task.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if I went out for a run today, usually I can get 10 kilometers done quite comfortably, but today I got about 6.5, and I was like, you know what, I'm not feeling this. Just got to stop. I just had to walk it home.
Yeah, well, it's okay as well not to work out for a week, which I think.
Yeah, and hopefully it won't be much longer than a week now. So we're pretty much approaching the end of the tunnel. Well, yeah,
but crossed. I feel like some people feel bad when they don't work out for a week, like they've let something down, but like it's okay just to take a week off and then go back to it. That's perfectly fine. But we sort of convince ourselves that we shouldn't have done it. And then you guilt yourselves into not doing it anymore. And then you end up in that circle, that spiral, and you just don't go back to it.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of people, they tend to say they have like one bad day. They've been like really strict on their diet or really strict on their training. And I'm guilty of this. But then you have everything's been good, but then you have one bad day and you have like a massive cheat meal, or you just forget to work out, and you just go, right, just press the fuck it button, and then you just let everything fall away. Like, well, look, one day's not going to kill you.
Yeah.
Just get back on it. But hopefully one more week and maybe the gyms will be back open.
Well, fingers crossed. Anyway, sorry we've kept you for so long, but I was enjoying that so much.
Well, how long have we been doing this? Nearly 3 hours.
This might be a free-parter. We'll see. I'll have to break.
Well, I've got none. I don't know about you guys, but I've got nothing better to do. Like, I'm gonna go back playing Star Wars once I'm done with you.
Oh yeah, we need to discuss that next time you're on as well.
I'm streaming Sonic Generations in 20 minutes.
Oh fuck yeah, you are! Oh yeah. You're doing that specifically for me. I better watch that.
I am, because Kenneth's been supporting me since the beginning, so I was like, he can pick a game. Screw everyone else.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking, no, I'm going to go play my own game.
Yeah, Sonic Generations.
Oh, great.
It's like a best of Sonic levels.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it. Like, you could play the old kind of Emerald Hill Zone style and the newer style.
Yeah. So that's my plan in 20 minutes time. So I need to cook food, eat that, and get ready by 7.
I'm not going to have time to cook and eat before then. I'm going to have to order in.
I can't really do that on stream though, can I?
Yeah, you can. Sure you can.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you had a sour sweet on stream, so I'm sure you.
Yeah.
Cool. Kenneth, where can people find you on social media? Plug your stuff.
Okay, so I am on Instagram at KenHalf89. KenHal89. Same on Twitter at KenHalf89. I don't have a Twitch, unfortunately. Even though somebody asked me on Twitch to start one,
which I was super thankful for, because they put me in RevPro alum along with you and Jörn, and I was like, oh, they have no idea how bad I am. But I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, but there's no plans to start a new Twitch anytime soon. But yeah, most Twitter and Instagram, they're what I'm mostly on. There's a couple of my matches are up on rpwondemand.com, so get yourself subscribe to that. And I guess we're all just waiting for the Epic Encounters 6, which is on the 6th of December, if I'm not mistaken. I
think you're correct, yeah.
Yeah, which will be streaming free on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch.
Hooray!
Hey.
So whichever you like. Come on, join, please, join, watch, please, watch, do it, watch.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
Peer pressure, lots of it.
Yeah. If I can pressure you anyway, please, go for it. Watch.
Awesome. Cool. Wow. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm really hoping that we'll do this very, very soon, because I've still got like 6 or 7 questions I've written down here that I wanted to ask you. So yeah, I'd really be happy to get you back on as soon as possible. Yeah,
I'll be glad to. Yeah, you guys should definitely talk to the other contenders as well. Like specifically Brendan. Like you should really try and get Brendan on at some point, because he's another one who's got a really good story. And,
okay.
And despite how much we hate each other on Twitter, like, he's a top bloke, and he's got a good story to tell. So I definitely recommend Brendan.
Will do.
Well, if he's happy to come on, we'd love to have him.
Yeah,
Cool. Well, thank you once again, Kenneth Halfpenny, and
no
take care of
problem at all.
yourself, and we'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, somebody sponsor these guys. Sponsor,
Yeah, Nando's, please.
sponsor them.
If not, Kenneth's Fried Chicken or anyone.
Yeah,
We just want
any
chicken.
chicken joint. Yeah, we love chicken. So
Yeah.
cool. Thanks, guys.
No
Catch
worries.
you later.
Take care.
Take care.
Guys.